The evening air was thick with the scent of damp earth and burning firewood as the Zahara sat outside her hut, absently weaving a basket. The sun had long disappeared behind the hills, and the village was settling into its usual nighttime quiet. But her heart was restless. Her hands moved, but her mind was far away. On Jabali, the man who had occupied her thoughts for months now. Jabali was a fisherman, strong and quiet, with a presence that made even the boldest women in the village lower their gazes. But not Zahara. She had always met his eyes, had always felt something stirring deep inside her when he looked at her the way only he did. And tonight, she knew he would come. A soft rustling in the grass behind her made her pulse quicken. She turned, and there he was, standing in the shadows, his bare chest glowing under the dim moonlight. He stepped closer, his voice deep and steady. "You waited for me." She held his gaze, a small smile playing on her lips. "I always do." Jabali reached out, brushing a loose curl from her face. His touch was light, but it sent a shiver down her spine. She could feel the heat radiating from his body, the quiet intensity in his eyes. "I couldn't stop thinking about you today," he murmured, his fingers tracing the line of her jaw. Her breath hitched. "Neither could I." His hands found her waist, pulling her closer. The warmth of his skin against hers sent a slow, burning fire through her veins. He lowered his head, his lips brushing hers softly at first, teasing, testing. Then, as if neither of them could hold back any longer, he kissed her fully, deep, urgent, claiming her in a way that left her breathless. She melted into him, her hands moving over the firm muscles of his back, feeling the strength beneath his skin. He kissed her like he had been waiting forever, like he needed her the way he needed air.
His forehead resting against hers, his breath heavy. "Come with me." She didn't ask where. She already knew. They walked hand in hand through the tall grass, past the silent huts, to the ancient tree at the edge of the village. The baobab had stood there for centuries, its roots deep, its branches wide, just like the feelings growing between them. Under its shelter, Jabali pulled her close again, his lips finding hers in the moonlight. There were no words now, only the language of touch, of longing, of love that had waited too long. His hands roamed her body, memorizing every curve, every sigh that escaped her lips. She clung to him, her body pressing against his, her heart racing. Their love unfolded slowly, like a secret whispered in the dark. Every touch was a promise, every kiss a confession. Time faded, the world disappeared, and all that remained was them, two souls tangled together beneath the stars. When it was over, they lay side by side, the night air cooling their heated skin. Jabali traced slow circles on Zahara's arm, his voice a soft murmur in the quiet. "I love you." She turned to face him, her fingers running along his jaw. "I love you too." He pulled her close, pressing a lingering kiss to her forehead. Whatever the village might say, whatever the future might bring, this moment was theirs, and it would stay with them forever.